is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
All right, guys, hello and happy Victory Monday. The Chiefs getting it done. That's what we like to hear on a Monday morning. Welcome into 10 Things here on the Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Hayley Lewis alongside Tucker Franklin. We got a lot to break down. The Chiefs info that we got for you off the top, though, is the fact that the Chiefs won, right? They righted the wrong after that loss to the Eagles. They have bounced back with a win over the Raiders, 31-17. That was in Las Vegas on the road. Minus the first quarter, Tuck, it was a pretty good game. We got to see the offense start to click. We saw the defense get rolling again like they have been per usual this entire season. So let's dive into this one. But first, how did you feel after the game? Give me your off the top notes.
Look, I felt good.
Yeah,
I felt good. Love to see the defense put in a strong performance after maybe a performance that, a couple drives you would like to have back. But Antonio Pierce has those Raiders. They're revamped. The revamped Raiders. They've got some new energy in it. So, listen, you're not gonna be perfect, right? That's how life is. It's how football is. You're not gonna be perfect. But they got a couple times. But then overall, only allowing 17 points. We'll probably I think we got a nugget in here about that. But only allowing 17 points. Pretty good win for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I felt good about it. Once we got the first quarter out of the way, I felt good about it. We'll dive into that a little bit. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, of course. We got Mission Taco Joint, now 3 locations in Kansas City, including their new one out in Leawood at Park Place. They got the little ice skating rink going on over there. So if you need a little date night or any cutesy stuff with the kiddos, head over there. It's opening up soon. Take the kids, grab some tacos, get some drinks. Of course, you got to deal with the kids, get some more drinks. You also get 10% off your order every Tuesday. Any Kansas City area Mission Taco Joint by just simply mentioning the Kansas City Sports Network. They have also helped us with our Feed It Forward program by providing meals each month to Hope Faith Ministries, a homeless shelter in downtown Kansas City, working with them last Tuesday. Or the first Tuesday of every month, I believe. And if you're interested in supporting this program, of course, you can check out the Kansas City Sports Network Foundation and get involved, which ties us into some holiday stuff we got going on, Tuck.
That's true. Mission Taco helping us out with our Soul of KC holiday raffle, third annual holiday raffle. Make sure to check that out. We got the links in the description of this podcast. You can go Venmo, or you can go to GiveButter.com/KCS and Soul. That Venmo is at KC Sports Network. Listen, 1 ticket for $20, 5 for $50, 15 for $100, or 25 tickets and a special gift for $150. You can purchase those through December the 4th. We will be drawing winners immediately following the Only Weird Games podcast on Monday, December the 11th. Some of those prizes, you might be wondering, we got some good stuff in here.
Yeah.
Actually. I don't know if you've seen us sitting in there in the office.
I have eyed it.
It's good stuff. We got the Derek Johnson full-size helmet, a Travis Kelce signed full-size helmet, many helmets signed by Trent McDuffie and Patrick Mahomes, Will Shields, jerseys signed by Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. A new prize was actually just added yesterday during the post-game show. VIP Holiday Distillery Tour for 12.
Okay, that place is cool.
Place is awesome.
You will have a fun... Get a DD. It's a bit up there. You will have a fun time.
Because there's also another part of this, too. There's a tasting with the Master Distiller and BJ Kissel as well. So, Holiday Distillery Tour for 12 just added into the raffle.
I love that.
Very exciting. They added on the post-game show last night. There's a bunch of other gift cards in there, too. Third Street Social, Kingdom Bar and Grill, Schlotsky's, Mission Taco, Cookie Society Monthly Sampler, Capitol Grill. I mean, you can get Chiefs tickets and a parking pass to the Christmas Day game. So much. Yeah. So much in here. And again, 1 ticket for $20, 5 tickets for $50, 15 for $100, and 25 plus a special gift for $150. You can purchase those tickets through December the 4th at our GiveButter page, givebutter.com/KCS and Soul, or Venmo KC Sports Network. So all great stuff we got cooking up.
Grandma, I know you're watching. This is what I want for Christmas. Raffle tickets. I want you to get some raffle tickets. But yeah, those are amazing prizes. And of course, going to a good cause as always. Holiday Distillery, I know we just talked about them again, but they always have the little cutesy pop-up kind of style up there. So that's an incredible gift. But yeah, let's roll into it, right?
Yep. So
wonderful things coming up with the holidays. Another gift for you at the end of November is that the Chiefs won. So there we go. We're going to start with a record that was set on Sunday. It's good old Andy Reid. Andy Reid, 1 of 1. Chiefs head coach Reid now joins 125 regular season wins as a head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. He broke the previous tie with head coach Hank Stram, most regular season wins by a head coach in franchise history. Reid also is the all-time winningest head coach in Philadelphia Eagles history. He joined Dan Reeves, who was with the Broncos and the Falcons, Tom Coughlin, who was with the Jags and the Giants, Tony Dungy with the Bucks and the Colts, and only 4 coaches to rank in the top 2 in all-time wins for 2 different NFL franchises. That is impressive. He is now the winningest coach for 2 different franchises, the only coach in NFL history to do so. If you have followed all of that, all you need to know is that Andy Reid is the GOAT.
He is. He's
boss.
To be the only NFL head coach to have the most franchise wins for 2 franchises is incredibly impressive. Looking at the Chiefs record book when it comes to coach wins, he has 125, Hangstrom 124, and then Marty Schottenheimer has 101. And then there's a cliff. And it's a real fall off with Dick Vermeil 44 at number 4, Marv Levy at number 5 with 31 wins. But an incredibly storied history at both of those teams. And if you think about it that way, like teams that go back a ways, and he's at the top of both of them. Very impressive. Kind of wish he would have been able to get it done against the Eagles. That would have been.
I know.
The script writers kind of fumbled the bag on that one, truthfully. But
still, give Jason a win sometimes.
That's true.
That's kind of the script too.
It's been a minute since I think the Chiefs beat the Eagles beat the Chiefs. I think it was 2005, I think.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah. That probably should have brought that up for last week's show. But anyhow.
That's okay.
125 wins for Andy Reid, and it seems like he just got here. So it's kind of crazy to think about. But Andy Reid, the GOAT, as you said.
Yeah, what he's been able to do here in Kansas City is just unmatched. And the fact that they were able to go out, chase him down, get that interview. I think even BJ just tweeted that out. That was the best thing that the Hunt family ever did. They've done a lot of great things, but bringing Andy Reid to Kansas City was the start of getting a player like Patrick Mahomes to come to Kansas City. And now we have I hate to even say, I mean, people are so on people about saying the word dynasty, but this is, if they can continue to win, if they go to the Super Bowl again, they don't even have to win, but they go again, you can't deny that a dynasty is being built between Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
I mean, if they host the AFC Championship game again, kind of.
You're right. Like, I'm putting the bar too high. You're right.
If they go to another AFC Championship, I think that's enough. But like hosting it again,
been to that many Super Bowls, you might as well just keep going. The bar is so high that you just assume it's going to happen.
Can I talk about Travis Kelce?
Yeah. If it doesn't in parentheses.
Not Taylor Swift. I'm talking about Travis Kelce.
You can talk
but
about
not Travis Swift. Taylor Swift. He collected 11,000 yards in his career.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce surpassed 11,000 receiving yards with a 27-yard catch from Patrick Mahomes in the second quarter. In 154 games, Kelce becomes the fastest tight end to surpass 11,000 receiving yards in NFL history and the 17th fastest player, regardless of position, to eclipse 11,000 yards. There's a lot of nuggets that we're going to dive into with Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce's section is pretty lengthy because he was also the fastest tight end to reach the 10,000-yard mark, besting Tony Gonzalez's mark of 177 games by completing the feat in 140 games. Kelce's career scrimmage yards total is now 11,090, making him the only player in franchise history to amass 11,000 yards from scrimmage. Previously, Kelce was the third player in franchise history to reach 9,000 career scrimmage yards and just the second to reach 10,000. He passed Gonzalez's 10,954 yards for the franchise record, further extending his lead on Sunday. And I still got another paragraph to read about this, Hayley.
Okay, go. Finish the meat of this, and then we'll get into the potatoes.
There we go. He also now has more than 11,000 combined yards of offensive yards and special teams yards. He joins Dante Hall as the only other player in franchise history with more than 11,000 combined yards. Kelce totaled 91 receiving yards tonight, or on Sunday, on 6 receptions.
The comparison for the longest time, okay, obviously Kelce has far surpassed Tony Gonzalez, but the comparison for the longest time was, would he be able to surpass him? Would he be able to surpass Gronk? Would he be able to keep up with Kittle? All these different things. And he's proven all those. But when I look at a guy like Tony Gonzalez, who's had a wonderful, career. I mean, everyone has their hiccups in their career, but he's had a phenomenal career. He's now on TV doing a great job as well as a personality. You see Travis Kelce, and he is playing in the NFL and also in the pop culture world. I know I said not to talk about Taylor Swift, but he's already transitioning into his post-career, football career lifestyle already, and he's simultaneously continuing to get it done on the field. I mean, I feel like this is a guy we're going to be talking about for years and years to come, because it looks like once his career's over, he's rolling right into Hollywood. And it's going to continue to be a personality that we will see and talk about for years and years to come. What he has done on the field is phenomenal. It's undeniable. The man, in NFL years, the man is old. And he's crushing it. I mean, you thought, we'd said this years and years past, like the past couple of years, he's got to deteriorate. Like his body's got to give out at some point. I mean, the beating that these guys take and the fact that he's been able to do that and also have a career and continue to build on that, it's impressive. Whoever his PR manager is and whoever his physical therapist is, great job.
They are doing
Keep
really
it
great
up.
job. There are some moments, I think this year more than any year, so I've watched Travis Kelce do his little shake move and think
That is quick. Yeah.
not quite to what we expect it to be. Usually he can gain a little bit, maybe 5-10 more yards after it, but now it's just like 3, maybe 4 yards.
The yards after catch, they're dwindling.
They're getting smaller. But I was just looking at some of the record books for the Chiefs. You know, Travis Kelce is going to grow his lead over in the most career receiving yards. I thought that one was going to be really hard for Travis Kelce to get, truthfully, when we were talking about this maybe 3 years ago. I'm thinking, man, that's a lot of yards he's going to have to get. And now we're talking about him surpassing it. Yards from scrimmage as well. Kind of incredible when you just talk about the 11,090, surpassing Tony Gonzalez, only Chiefs player to have 11,000 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then just talking about just like combined yards with special teams.
Right.
Like 11,090, he's not getting many yards in special teams. So like that, again, when you're talking about just taking all the yards that anyone can get and putting them together, Travis Kelce is still out there. Like he's still the top, even though he's really only doing one of those facets. He's still at the top. He's got a ways to catch Dante Hall. Dante Hall has 12,359 or 56.
Different position,
very different.
different plays
when looking at all of it. But 17th fastest to 11,000 career receiving yards. Incredibly impressive from Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and he's continued to impress. So I will, one day we're going to be talking about this in the rearview mirror, and it's going to be like, I don't think we appreciated how incredible this player was, even though we're hyping him up. Let's talk about another player like that. His bestie, good old Patrick Mahomes. National media is pretty kind to him, I feel like, but it's always the other fans in the NFL who just want to tear him to shreds. And it's like, well, here's my new fact to put it up against your little Twitter rant. Here we go. Patrick Mahomes moving up. With a start against the Raiders, Patrick Mahomes has started now 45 consecutive regular season games as the QB, the second most consecutive games by any QB in franchise history. That's breaking a tie with Lynn Dawson.
Never heard of him?
I haven't either, but I heard through the grapevine he might be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, throughout his Chiefs career, Mahomes has now tallied 27,158 passing yards on over 2,200 completions with 213 touchdown passes. That is good for 104.5 QB rating. His 27,158 passing yards in his first 7 seasons ranks the 4th most in the league history. That's in the league. We're not talking franchise anymore. His 298 passing yards on Sunday moved him past Derek Carr to claim the 4th spot of most passing yards in a player's first 7 seasons. Not done, Tucker. Nope. Not done. With his 2 touchdown passes on Sunday, Mahomes now has 66 career games with at least 2 passing touchdowns. Dan Marino is who he is now surpassing for the most games in a player's first 7 seasons. This was Mahomes' 8th multi-touchdown pass game of the season, and everyone is saying he's trash and broken and not working. There's your facts. Facts are facts.
That one was really impressive. We're still getting fastest pace for Patrick Mahomes in a lot of these stats. It's the 7th season in the NFL.
Bro, he's been here.
He's still getting fastest to do this. Like, if you look at it, I'm looking at the record book right now, the NFL record book. Patrick Mahomes obviously at the top with the most multiple passing touchdowns, as you said. In the first 7 seasons, he has 66. Dan Marino has 65. It took him 101 games. It took Patrick Mahomes 10 whole games less than Dan Marino to get 66 multiple passing touchdown games. Looking at even the most passing yards the first 7 years, he passed Derek Carr, as you mentioned. He's only behind Dan Marino, Matt Ryan, Peyton Manning. And again, as I mentioned, Dan Marino has played in 10 more games. Matt Ryan, 19 more games. And then you're looking at 21 more games for Peyton Manning, who is at the top of that list. He's within striking distance with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's at 29,442. Could happen. But it's gonna need to be a pretty good sized effort. But I'm not gonna put it by Patrick Mahomes. He could be number 2 on this list by the time it's all said and done. But the one I was most impressed by when looking at the record book, most consecutive games started at quarterback for the Chiefs. Obviously, we know Patrick Mahomes had that injury that broke that streak up a little bit. He's number 2. Number 1 streak is Trent Green, actually, held by Trent Green.
Really?
81 consecutive games he started at quarterback for the Chiefs from September 9th, 2001 to September 10th of 2006. I was kind of taken aback by that one.
I wouldn't have said that.
Me either.
That wouldn't have been my guess. However, Trent Green was my first ever bobblehead. I still cherish it to this day.
Hey, look, we got the podcast with Trent Green out on the KCSN Stories page. It's great to hear his story. He went through a whole lot. There's a lot of things I didn't know about Trent Green.
Yeah.
But Trent Green was he's the real first quarterback that I can remember in my Chiefs fan. I had an Elvis Gerbach jersey, but we don't talk about him type of deal. But he's the first quarterback that I can remember.
Yeah, me too.
So,
but very cool to see again. The company that Mahomes' name is in is always impressive, and it's up there at the top, and it's so quick throughout his career. It feels like he's been here a minute, and then other times it feels like he hasn't been here at all. Like he's just barely getting started. And he's young. He's still very young, continuing to do this. Let's talk about the other guy who is young, continuing to do a lot of great things.
First time that Isaiah Pacheco found the end zone, multi-score game for Isaiah Pacheco. He kicked off the Chiefs, scoring to cut into the Raiders' lead with 6:38 left in the second quarter. Yesterday, he took a handoff for a 1-yard rush into the end zone, bringing the score to 14-7. Pacheco found himself in the end zone again off of another 1-yard carry to put the Chiefs up 21-14 in the third quarter. Now you can debate to see if he made it in the first receiving time. I think he did. But we'll never know.
Yeah.
The Chiefs might have scored 2 touchdowns on that drive, and Isaiah Pacheco might have scored 3 touchdowns, 2 by himself on that drive. But yesterday's multi-touchdown game was the first of his career. He now has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season and 10 for his career. This is a note that I thought was really interesting. His 10 rushing touchdowns are tied for 5th most in franchise history for a player across their first 2 seasons. And with 5 rushing touchdowns already this season, Pacheco has tied his season total from his rookie year. Pacheco led the rushing charge yesterday with 55 yards off 15 rushes, 2 touchdowns, and he had 5 receptions for 34 yards in the passing game as well. Great day for Isaiah Pacheco. When looking at those other guys on that rushing list here, I got it pulled up. There's so many lists. Here we go. Tied for 5th, as I mentioned. He's tied with Jack Spikes, Larry Johnson, and Niall Davis for 10 touchdowns in their first 2 seasons. Abner Hayes is at number 1 in 1960, 1961. He's got 18, so he needs 9 more touchdowns to break the record through the next however many games. Yeah. Possible, but it might be a pretty decent effort. The second place is 15, and then 13 to get to number 4.
What is it left? 5 games? 5 games, right?
I think so.
In regular season, it's week. We just got done with what? Sometimes I don't even know what day it is.
We just got done with week 12, right?
Yep, week 12. So 5.
5.
Yeah. We're both like 17 weeks, 16 weeks.
18 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Pacheco, he had an incredible breakout season as a rookie season, and the big question for guys like that is, are they going to continue? Do they hit the sophomore slump, or do they continue to grow? He's been an asset to them from the start, and that's been incredible to see. Also, with the fact that, and now he's not in the same room, but you have a lot of wide receivers down in this game. You also don't have Jerick McKinnon in this game. Yep. And people were wondering why Clyde came in towards the end. And you look at it and you think, well, why not? They were up 2 scores, and then you have your best running back. Why potentially risk the injury if Clyde can handle what he needs to handle to get it done, and the Chiefs got to just stay ahead? I mean, there's no reason to risk it. That's my opinion. Now, is that exactly what Andy Reid's doing? Who knows? But Pacheco's been phenomenal. I say keep him healthy, keep him right. He's going to help you throughout the playoffs.
Especially at a position where attrition is like the name of the game.
Thank you. That's a better way of saying it too, yes.
Like running backs miss so much time. I went back and I did this stat, I think last year, where starting running backs missed an average of 3 games a season last year. So if you look back at starting running backs, that's usually what you're seeing is guys missing multiple games of a season. And that's what you got to be prepared going into a season to basically play your 2, play your 3 running back, and maybe have a guy on the practice squad that you can call up every now and again like they do with Michael P. Ryan. So very impressive effort there from Isaiah Pacheco. Another impressive effort from another young guy.
Rashee Rice! Finally! We saw the game, and this is kind of where everyone was looking for the answer, and I think Chiefs Kingdom, you have found your answer. Everyone kept wondering, why aren't they feeding the ball more? Why does he have more opportunities? This is this. Now, he did have one drop. I mean,
who cares?
This is throw that one.
Everybody else is dropping.
Who cares? When there's only a few penalties and no turnovers, we're just going to take it and roll with it. Early in the fourth quarter, Rashee Rice caught a 39-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes, putting the Chiefs up 28-17, giving him 5 touchdown receptions, which is incredible. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he scored the first Chiefs touchdown of the season as well. I think so. I have to check that. Rice's 5 receiving touchdowns this season ties him for the 5th most in Chiefs history in a rookie season. So let's look at that. Most receiving touchdowns in a rookie season. He is coming down, they said, okay, there we go, in 5th. And so he's amongst people like Otis Taylor. Heard of him. He's done very well. At 6 would be Tyreek Hill, and McCole Hardman are also tied for that 6th spot. So definitely in good company there. And then also in the Chiefs record book, most receiving yards by a rookie wide receiver in his wide receiver rookie season. Rashee Rice coming in at 5, Tyreek Hill coming in there at 4. That's nice. I love to see it. I love to see him pop off. I love to see the fact that he had confidence. And I definitely think after last week's game against the Eagles that this is exactly what Chiefs Kingdom needed to see. Now we have a pair of the game's highs. 31-17 win against the Raiders. Rice had a career high of 8 receptions to lead the team. That was besting his previous high of 5. And in addition, Rice set his new single-game career high with 107 yards, marking his first 100-yard performance.
Chiefs were in need of a 100-yard receiver. They were in need of one. I did look it up. You were right. Rashee Rice did score the first touchdown of the season. Shout out. He also had a pretty good PFF grade if I look it up here.
You are actually, I had it pulled up because we just tweeted it out. His PFF grade was 85.9. So he was 5th. He was 5th. Before him, Drew Tranquill, highest, Trey Smith, Mike Dana, Creed Humphrey, Rashee Rice, and then underneath Rashee Rice is Patrick Mahomes.
Look, Rashee had a good game, and I think it helped that there were less receivers on the field. As much as that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Also, when you have Patrick Mahomes trying to build up chemistry with these people and you constantly keep putting him on the field with 7 other people, it's damn near impossible to be able to build up that rapport. Now, is that, again, not a coach, not in Andy Reid's mind, and not qualified whatsoever to say that. This is just an opinion. But maybe this is what they need, is build it up with one guy. I hate to say put all your eggs in one basket, but maybe like put half a dozen.
Yeah.
to Rashee Rice and give the other 6 to Pacheco, and let's roll.
I'm good with that. They're investing in these young guys. We've talked a lot about the offense so far. Like, there are some really good defensive nuggets, but a lot of records already from the offense. A lot of good paces here. Even when you talk about Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco setting some records, moving up record boards. So lots on the offensive side of the ball.
We're going to talk more defense, a little more offense after the break, but we'll take a break here and be right back with you.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Welcome back into 10 Things. We are breaking it down. The Chiefs beating the Raiders. Let's talk about Justin Watson, a guy who we didn't think was going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Chiefs, but has shown up and he showed out.
Who would have thought Justin Watson, number 1 wide receiver? He found an open space in the end zone, scoring a 3-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes. And paired with Harrison Butker's converted PAT, the touchdown brought the game level at 14-14 with just 25 seconds left to play in the first half. It is the 2nd straight week Watson has made a trip to the end zone, giving him 2 touchdowns on the season, 4 receiving touchdowns since joining the Chiefs in 2022, and 6 touchdown catches for his career.
I've never seen him get feisty.
He did get feisty.
And I loved it. There was a penalty.
Who cares?
I was fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. Getting after the guy who knocked him down at the line of scrimmage.
Who that was, who the defender was. But
he probably wasn't important enough to remember, truthfully. So,
hot take.
Yeah. I've been on the I've been tongue-in-cheek saying that Justin Watson has been wide receiver 1 for a while now.
Okay.
My tongue firmly planted in my cheek when I usually say that. But he's been able to get open, and that's been the big part. A couple good big plays. In the Minnesota game, he had a couple good catches there, but he seems to be there when Mahomes needs him. Now, I would love to see Rashee Rice take that mantle from him a little bit, but for Justin Watson being if he can get to like a third, maybe even fourth option for the Chiefs, I think that's a good spot for him to be in.
I think he had a drop last week, but outside of that, and I'll have to go back and actually look, I don't think he's had any type of issues this season. Also, you got to remember, this is a guy who came from the Bucs. He also played alongside Tom Brady. He's used to elite-minded quarterbacks, and he seemed to really seamlessly fit his first year in with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and he's just continued to be. Now, is he going to be what Rashee Rice will probably be one day? No. I mean, he probably already would have been that by now, but he's going to be a solid guy that you can depend on and always count in being in the right position. Like, he's going to be where he's supposed to be. That's something that the Chiefs have needed like a dependable guy. And again, you don't usually see him get very fired up. Also in interviews, he's very even-keeled, very reserved, seems to be a very conservative kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And he got a little chippy there, and you see Mahomes go in and separate them. But yeah, I mean, fire up for your team, get it done. I love the role that he plays, and if he continues to be that guy who can, be where he needs to be when Mahomes doesn't have the other option.
Absolutely.
Great.
So we're talking about the defense now.
Yeah, okay. I was like, we are rambling.
We've been going hard on the offense, and I know people want to hear about the defense, but let's hear about it.
Okay, so Chiefs defense, they hold the Raiders to under 24. Now, this is the stat that you were talking about in the beginning of when we kicked things off. The Chiefs defense allowed just 17 points in Sunday's victory over the Raiders. This marks the 11th straight game 2023 when the defense held their opponent to 24 or fewer points. Wow, 24 or fewer points. This streak of 11 consecutive games is the fourth longest streak in Chiefs history to start a season. Dating back to week 15 of the 2022 season, that was a good year, the Chiefs have not allowed fewer than 24 points in 15 straight games, tying for the fifth longest streak in Chiefs history. The fact that we are talking about the Chiefs and talking about the defense like this is mind-boggling. Right? It's probably very mind-boggling to our parents. They probably never thought we would be talking about this. But the Chiefs' defense is good. You can't deny that anymore. National media can't deny that anymore. The rankings aren't denying it anymore. The stats are now proving what we've been seeing week in and week out. Spags is getting it right.
He is. And looking at the Chiefs record book for this, I forgot to throw this in the sheet. It's
Do you have the record book on tap?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's
yeah.
I do. You've had a lot of.
I forgot to put it in the sheet, but the most games to start a season allowing 24 or fewer points was in 1991. Good defense that year. Pretty good team that year.
We both weren't here.
We both were not here. It was 14 games. So the Chiefs only have 3 more games to tie the record, and as most games to start a season allowing 24 or fewer points. In terms of most consecutive games allowing 24 or fewer points, they're at 15 right now. As you mentioned, they're tied for 5th. If they get to 16, they'll be tied for 3rd, and then they've got to get to 22 to 23 to break the record, 22 to tie it. That was from 1989 to
okay, so that's the next season thing. Because we did the math, and the math said only 5 games.
Right. So they can, that at most, they can get to number 2. Okay. Have sole possession of number 2.
We were just talking about 1991. You know a guy who wasn't here in 1991? Trent McDuffie.
I was going to say, there's a lot of
that
people. That
child was pretty much the entire team.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Outside of Travis Kelce, the entire team was not here in 1990. Wow.
Deuce Winchester?
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe Harrison Butker, too. I don't know.
I don't know.
You see that game? He might.
We're going to have to do a live lookup of Harrison Butker's age because I could not.
Tell me the year that he was born. I'm going to tell you when Trent McDuffie was born.
Harrison Butker was...
What's that year?
Oh, gosh. There's a lot of dates. 1995.
What? Well,
28.
Trent McDuffie was born in the year 2000. Wow. Okay, if that doesn't make you feel like a pile of crap, let me tell you something else that will make you feel worse. You have not accomplished what Trent McDuffie has.
You haven't.
He has continued to shine.
I made a tweet about Trent McDuffie, said he deserves to be an All-Pro, and he backed it up as he recorded 2 tackles, both a pass defended and a quarterback hit, with his quarterback hit yesterday. He now has 8 through his first 2 seasons, tying him for the most QB hits through a defensive back's first 2 seasons in franchise history. Let me reread that again because I was kind of taken aback while I was reading it. With his quarterback hit on Sunday, he now has 8 through his first 2 seasons, tying him for the most QB hits through a defensive back's first 2 seasons in franchise history. And according to PFF, Trent McDuffie logged 2 pressures on 3 pass rush snaps, recorded a 91.1 pass rush grade. His overall grade didn't, I think, reflect very well of how well he played. He did allow the deep ball to Jacoby Myers, but that's who Trent McDuffie is. He's never going to be a contested. He's not going to be that kind of guy.
Well, also just his size alone is a little different than most of the quarterbacks.
He is a bit smaller, but that's not going to be his game.
Yeah,
his game is going to be. He's really taken over the role from L'Jarius Sneed, who was blitzing from the slot a whole lot last year. Now Trent McDuffie's doing that, and he's impacting the game in different ways. A lot of people will point to that Jacoby Myers catch and be like, "See, Trent McDuffie can't do that." So, number one, a great throw from AOC.
It was a dime.
And then a great catch from Jacoby Myers. Not a whole lot you can do there on his end. But Trent McDuffie, very impressive showing so far this season.
Yeah, he's been incredible, and I think he will continue to be a huge staple in the Chiefs' defense. What he's been able to do at the young age against the talent that he's had to go up against, guys like Tyreek Hill, and just what he's been able to do in those situations where he's been put, just in the national attention, the spotlight that's coming on to him as well. So there's pressure that comes with that. I mean, yes, Washington prides themselves on their DBs and what they can produce, and he is a perfect example of that. But just because you had that pressure in college doesn't mean it's going to necessarily translate when you go to the league. And in his rookie season, we saw that, and now he's continued to build upon that. I mean, he was a guy that I talked to on the field after the AFC win, and he just was like, I said, "Did you ever expect to be here?" And he's like, "Honestly, yeah." And I was like, and he didn't say it in an arrogant way, but he goes, "Honestly, yeah, I did expect this.
Yeah,
this is what I was a part of the Chiefs. I had the preparation. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue to capitalize on it and build on that." And I'm like, "All right, man, go on." And then he did.
Love it. I love
So I love that. Another guy who's continued to be phenomenal, good old Furious George.
Yeah.
George Karlaftis, my man. Concerned about him in the beginning when he started because, was there a role for him? Was there space for him when he was working with Frank Clark, who used to be with Kansas City? Was he able to help alongside also having Chris Jones? And his position was kind of one of those where he came in as a rookie and it was unknown. His athletic ability was something of question. And now we have just seen how he's now just, I want to say, winning pre-snap. Not out-efforting. That's how he used to have to win because he had to out-effort his opponent. And now it's like he's winning pre-snap. So on a critical 3rd and 8 late in the 4th quarter, defensive end George Karlaftis brought down his former college teammate. I forgot that. Aiden O'Connell and him went to Purdue together. Brought him down for a 13-yard sack. The sack set the Raiders up in a 4th and 21. Womp womp. They failed to convert. Womp. Giving the ball back to the Chiefs, who promptly ended the game in victory formation. The sack gave Karlaftis 14 in his career, team leading 8 this season. He had 3 solo tackles on the day, including a tackle for loss, a QB hit to go with that sack as well.
That's what I was most impressed about when they were doing that. He leads the team with Nate.
Yeah.
He's been pretty incredible. He pulled the numbers here real quick when it comes to pressures on the day for George Karlaftis, because I think even pressures on the season, he's been pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks like he had 1 pressure on the day, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But only 1 sack for both teams. 1 sack apiece for the Raiders, 1 for the Chiefs. Wasn't a whole lot going on the defensive front of things. But George Karlaftis, as you mentioned, has been winning in different ways. And I think that's been encouraging to see, working with Tom Bahali, too, of everything that he's been able to get going, too. So very impressive.
He's just grown.
He has, and I think that's a great sign if you're the Chiefs to look at your 2 first-round picks. We were talking about the 2 first-round picks from the 2021 draft, right here, and back-to-back plays. Coming up really big on the defensive side of the ball. You got to hit on those if you're going to want to be successful with Patrick Mahomes and most efficiently use the money team building wise. We could do a whole podcast about team building probably. But the most efficient use of it is hitting on those first round picks. They seem to be doing that. They seem to be hitting. Another big one too, before we move on from the defense, Hayley, that I wanted to bring up this tweet from Craig Stout. He said Devontae Adams' last catch came on a snap with 13:23 left in the second quarter against the Chiefs defense. So I think he had a pretty decent day at the office, 73 yards or something like that. Yeah. 5 catches, 73 yards. Didn't touch a ball for the remaining
Is that
13:23.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
A good. I know that look, we
You sound like such a homer saying that, but that's incredible.
L'Jarius Sneed has been on this lockdown tour, you could call it, just shutting down number one wide receivers. It's the first time all season the Chiefs allowed a 100-yard rusher, actually, with Josh Jacobs. And, listen.
It's hard to stop him.
He's pretty good. I would like him to be a Kansas City Chief. But anyhow, I wanted to put that out there before we moved completely on from the defense. I thought that was a really impressive thing. Wanted to tip my hat to L'Jarius Sneed because he's been doing really well on these number one receivers, kind of shadowing these guys.
Yeah, I mean, and continued to, and has continued to also be a leader in that secondary and helping these younger guys get to where they need to be. Let's talk about when you win a game, Tucker, you got to win on all 3 units, right? So let's talk about some special teams, okay? Harrison Butker.
This is wild.
Yeah.
And I've kind of, I think we're kind of...
People forget this sometimes too.
And I know we talk about this a lot with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce being complacent. I think we're getting a little complacent with Harrison Butker because he has been perfect this season. He went 1 for 1 on field goals, 4 for 4 on PATs in yesterday's 31-17 victory. He's now 11 games into the season, and he has yet to miss a kick of any kind, extending his franchise record for games to start a season without a missed kick. He is the last remaining perfect kicker across the league this season, and just the 10th kicker in NFL history to be perfect through their first 11 games of the season with a minimum of 11 attempts. Tied for 7th, as has mentioned.
Where's
11.
Tucker on that?
He's 12th. In 2016. So 12 games. If he goes another one, he will all 16 is the record. So realistically, he can surpass it, right? Because there's now 17 games. You can put an asterisk next to it.
For the fourth time, have really had to think through how many games are left in the game.
So he can pass it. Most games to start a season without missing a field goal or a PAT. You have to average 1 field goal per attempt per game.
Wow.
To qualify on this list. But perfect through 11 games. Remember last year, all we could talk about is how the ball was being held, and they couldn't make a PAT, they couldn't make a field goal, they couldn't do anything. We thought that was going to be the death of this team, their fatal flaw, but it's fine.
By the way, we are really dumb. There are 6 games left. I was thinking in my head, I was like...
Yeah, there's 18 weeks.
And then I was like, 17 games. This is Football 101 if you want to join us.
This is why we need BJ here, because he can do the mental math. We cannot.
I do girl math. Tucker does T-Swift math, and BJ does real math.
I don't know if you can call whatever I do math, but...
I use my calculator. So we got, coming up, Packers. That's going to be this coming weekend. Yep. The Chiefs are on the road. Then the Chiefs come back home. They got the Bills on Sunday afternoon. They then hit the road again. They take on the Patriots. They come back home. So Raiders popping off on Twitter afterwards saying, we are the better team, blah, 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 blah. Well, prove it. You got another chance. Denver said that. Denver got it over on the Chiefs. So if you can do that, fabulous. We'll give you the blue star or the green, the yellow star, the gold star, whatever. Bengals going to be at the Chiefs. That is the New Year's Eve game. And then, of course, the Chiefs are going to go to the Chargers to round things off on January 7th. So those are your 6 games to round off the season before the postseason comes. The Bills falling. Yes, I love that.
66. Can you believe that? That the Bills are 500.
It's just insane. And then the Bengals falling as well to the Steelers. Love to see that happen. Probability of those 2 teams who were just a thorn in the Chiefs' side the past 2 seasons. Less and less. Probably a Miami issue. Maybe the Eagles again, but...
I mean, look at the AFC. Will the Ravens have enough steam? Will they have enough steam to get there? They're heading into their bye week right now, but...
Biggest threat you see... Give me your biggest... And then we're going off topic here a little bit,
that's fun.
As we get ready for the postseason, your biggest threat that you see in the AFC, and then give me your biggest threat that you see in the NFC for the Chiefs to potentially face if they make it.
That's really interesting because the Chiefs did just go toe-to-toe with the Eagles. Now, they didn't lose that game. They outgained them. They basically outdid them in every category besides the one that ultimately matters and the points.
Yep.
And which is fair. You got to win games like that. But I The Eagles don't really worry me all that much, truthfully.
The Niners?
I don't know if the Niners really do that for me. Maybe it is the Niners on the NFC side of it, just because we've seen what we've seen with the Eagles. Right? We've seen them, but we haven't seen the Chiefs play the Niners since, I guess, last year they played them, but that was Christian McCaffrey's first game. And
they're a different team.
There's been a whole lot. Like, Brock Purdy's gotten a little bit more comfortable with them. There's been a lot changed since then. But, like, when you look at the AFC, the Ravens, the team right now that I think could be an interesting matchup for the Chiefs. But I don't know if they scare me. I don't know if there's a team in the AFC that I'm really scared of or worried about.
Tucker ain't scared?
I'm not. Because you beat the Jaguars already.
Yeah.
You beat the Dolphins already.
Okay.
I think the Bills are broken. The Bengals don't have a quarterback right now.
That's true.
Disrespectful to Jake Browning, but
I mean, it's no.
His play's disrespectful. So.
What'd they pay Burrow again? 50? Then whatever.
Now, so that opening kickoff of the first game of the season, that wasn't a strategic move. I don't know what it is.
Power play. Anyways, I'm feeling good about the Chiefs after seeing that performance. Yeah. I feel, even though I hate to admit this, I feel good even about their loss to the Eagles. And they're in a good position, and I'm excited to see how it rolls out for the remaining 6 games of the regular season. But yeah, that taps, I guess that would be 11 things to know. The Chiefs have 6 games left in the regular season. That's the 11th. If you guys didn't know that, we got you covered. Tuck, anything else you wanna spew off?
I think that's it. Make sure to donate to the holiday raffle. We've got a lot of great prizes. We're that December 4th, the last day to do that. So make sure to get your tickets. 1 ticket for $20, 5 for $50, 15 for $100, 25 in the special gift for $150. It is crazy that December 4th is coming up, by the way.
Yeah, December 1st is what, Friday?
That is insane.
Yeah. Wasn't
it New Year's Day like 4 days ago? Seems like it.
Well, time for some new resolutions. That's all we got for you guys today. That is 10 things. Of course, always follow us on social. And we will see you back here next week after the Chiefs hopefully finish off the Packers.